You doing, Andrew?
Tearing Kenny's Corvette apart again.
On this Corvette, not the red one, but the burgundy one.
His other Corvette. This is not the work truck Corvette. This is the nice Corvette.
The nice Corvette.
We are pulling the transmission and differential out to send to RPM transmissions so we can have everything looked over while it's the off season, while we have the time. So that way this year it's 100% good to go, no issues.
The license plate's smoother than your whole truck.
Yes, it is. It's very nice.
How many people do you know with a ceramic coated license plate?
This car is too nice for me to even be working on, but Kenny trusts me, so that's really good.
Good. Let's go see what he's doing. As you see, look what's on the hoist. Oh, look what's right there. We got the red truck back in. We got the green car on the hoist. Blue car's going bye-bye, hopefully. And then we got Kenny over here hanging brooms.
Hey.
Give an insight of what you're having Andrew do to the burgundy car already. So let's talk about what you got going on. Closing out 2024's here.
Yeah. So when I got the car from Denny, like I think it had 15,000 miles on it, something pretty low miles. It just had a scratchy fifth gear, and I've had it for 2 summers now, and it's pretty bad. Like going into fifth, you got to kind of like double, triple clutch it, let it coast down to get it fifth with it. And it's like, before I ruin the rest of the gears or anything else. Like this is actually one of the best shifting, like smoothest gear. Like it shifts really good, really smooth. I never miss gears with it, but fifth gear is a problem. So I was like, I'll pull the trans out and send it down to RPM and have them go through it. And then it has a very large camshaft and big cylinder head, so like it doesn't drive bad, but it drives chunky. Like if you're cruising slow through town, you gotta, you're cruising in third, not fourth, or if you're going 55, 60, you're in fifth, not sixth. So I decided, hey, it's a good time. I'll send the diff to them and have them do a 390 gear. The car gets actually really good mileage on the highway at 82, 84 mile an hour. So a 390 ain't gonna hurt it at all. The factory gearing is 342. So I don't know how fast it'll go in third gear, but I've had it well over 130 in third gear. So it's got plenty of gearing. So yeah, I'm gonna go from a 342 up to a 390, and then should make the car quicker. And then, like I said, have them just go through the trans. I actually, like even the red car has an RPM level 7 trans. It's nice, and it doesn't feel like this. Just feels really smooth and buttery. And so I don't want to change it, but I want to have them just refresh it. It has a monster twin disc, like an 800 wheel twin disc or 800 torque, whatever they call it. I slipped the clutch once really hard in the summer. So while we're doing this, it's like, let's take the clutch out and just have it gone over. Like it. So yeah, I was cruising around in Onaway one day, and these little kids were like, do burnout, and I was like, hell yeah, man. So I dropped it, and we were going like 40. I dropped it in second, dumped the clutch, and it just bounced off the rev limiter because it has a 335/25 tire that's 14 inches wide, and then times 2. So it has a lot of traction actually. So it didn't spin the tires, but I was in the car like, yeah, I did it for him. And then Chelsea's like, hey, you're retarded. That smells like clutch. And I was like, shit, it does smell like clutch. So then I was like, it'll be fine, So then later on that day, I was like, we're cruising around for a while. Like, it still works great, but later on that day, like, I power shifted going 130 something. I went from third to fourth, and it flared, and I was like, yeah, it needs to be sent in. So I put like 2,000 miles on it since then, and I think it kind of like wore back in and recovered, but also while it's taken apart, we'll send it in and have it gone through. Because then she'll just be in tip-top shape for next year, ready to rock. So yeah, red truck's back over here. We went and got that,
What's plans with that?
Oh,
We barely discussed it.
Yeah, it's like a pipe dream right now because Callie's takes a half a year on a crankshaft. But we should have a crank like the end of March, maybe beginning April if we're lucky. So we're going to put a 502 cubic inch LS in this, and then just going to be done with it. So we're going to do like 12.5 to 1, We got a set of RHS heads. Nick Efdos from Beef TR is going to make us a cam at some point. I was going to keep a hydraulic roller, but he was picking on me, so I think it might be actually the first solid roller I ever used. And so my friend Dustin Gramps down in Florida had a set of RHS 307cc LS7 style cylinder heads with Jezel rockers, and he made me a good deal on them, and I sold him a set of hydraulic Brodix for his Z28 Camaro. So kind of a trade thing, whatever. But so I got those, so I have the rocker arms to do basically whatever we want. So I guess maybe we'll. I mean, I've had the truck for, this will be my 4th year, I think. Yeah, and I put like 3,500 miles a year on an average, so if it's solid, I guess whatever. Adjust the valves once or twice in the summer just because, but it's nerve-wracking to me a little bit because it's uncharted territory. I've made a couple thousand horsepower and never had to adjust rocker arms, so I've always had hydraulic roller stuff. I've never even had a set of adjustable rocker arms in my life. This is the first one, so the red truck gets all the good stuff. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. Bought myself a little set of weld Christmas wheels. They're being made, so when they come, actually, that's the only reason I went and got it from the house right now, is just because when the wheels come, I really want to just bolt them right on. I'm super excited. So,
drag pack will be for drag days, and then it'll be on a nice set of welds.
Yep. So we're just cleaning up, and then the guy's coming from West Virginia to pick up the blue car today. He should be here in about an hour. So that'll be out of the way. That's why I was like, I'll go get that. I'll take the red car home. Aaron's supposed to pick it up in March. So really, New Year's here, and selling the blue car frees me up on some funds. So we're gonna get the green car done like this month. So sent the heads down to our buddy Michael with the turbo Volvo station wagon, and he took them to a guy he knows, and he fixed them already. So it's like, hell yes. I worked on them for like 7 hours, and I just, with my skills and with the tools that I have, I just couldn't make it happen. So very glad he was able to get that together for us.
You know what that means? Everyone can quit f***ing asking about it.
Frickin' ass.
Yeah.
Language, dick, head.
We're past 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, yeah, when's the green car going to get done? When's the green car going to get done? Well, I don't know. Let me tell you, the heads took 10.5 months, so I'm not really sure at this point.
And the best part is it's all people who aren't sponsors asking. Like,
they're the ones that care.
Yeah.
Sponsors don't care.
Yeah. So all you guys that keep asking, once Andrew's done, everyone that keeps asking, you guys can just start sending money via PayPal stuff. Like, since you're so intrigued.
If you're really concerned with me, it's not even money anymore. It's just you can't
Time.
get what you...
Parts.
You just can't get what you pay for anymore. Companies, there's a lot of great companies out there, so this is not the right thing to say, but a lot of companies don't care. They just want your money, and then they're like, like, I've always really liked Brodix products, but like, I probably will never buy anything from Brodix again. Just because they assured me it would be 3 or 4 months on the heads for this, and it took 10.5. And not their fault that the push rods didn't clear and I poured a hole in it, but for 10.5 months, $6,000 of my money was tied up. I mean, like, you think of it in terms like a bank. Like, there should be some kind of repercussion for that kind of thing. Which, whatever. That's just being petty. Moral of the story, I got $130,000 in this car, and I can't use it because for a whole calendar year, one company's tying it up. I'm like, that's BS. It shouldn't be that way.
No.
There's no reason that companies can't, first and foremost, if they tell you 3 months, do it in 3 months. That's fine. I agreed to it. I paid you 3-4 months, fine. 10 months, that's bullshit. So we don't do that. I do not stand for that. If I tell a customer I'm getting a car done, it is early, or at the very least, it's happening when I tell you it's going to get done by. I don't care if I have to stay here till 10, 11, 2 in the morning. That's what we do. And that's how companies and business should be. You know, it's like I came from nothing and built this place in like less than 10 years, basically. And I didn't build this place by telling people I was going to do something and not do it. So that is the number one thing that actually just infuriates me beyond control. So, you know, whatever. We'll move on from that. So anyways, new year, new me. I'm not going to be mad about the heads anymore.
Throw that right out the door.
Yeah, new year, new me. So
Still eating snack cakes, being mad.
I'm trying to cut back. Had about 15 pieces of pizza last night, but beside the point.
I got a picture of you at like 2 in the morning. It looked like you passed out with a piece of pizza in your mouth.
Chelsea's like, Or actually, I was like, "Where's that pizza at?" She's like, "Why?" I was like, "I want to try some." Again, after I already tried it earlier. Yeah. So I smashed the rest of it.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't drink anymore, so I just eat my sorrows away. Anyways, this really beautiful turbo kit, I just gotta cut it up now. I did all back purged it and made it look all pretty, and now I gotta cut it because I got a tall deck block when I was supposed to have a standard deck block.
Thanks, Callies.
Well, you know.
Anyway, so we're gonna cut that shit out of 2023.
No more negativity. No more negativity.
So for 24, you're gonna have this done. You're gonna have the red truck done. No more limp mode or anything like that.
No, we're gonna make sure it's fixed.
This is gonna be done,
And the burgundy car, I mean, like.
and then you're gonna have 2 cars gone.
I could have left it alone, but like we're slowing down for the year, so it's nice. But like I said, the 5th gear was pretty bad, and before it just trashes the rest of the trans, you know.
Yeah.
Because it really does, man. That transmission, it's impressive how smooth it is. Like, we've done a ton of Corvette stuff the last 2 years, and by far that's like just sitting idle and just moving the gears. Like, you're like, wow, it's so smooth. So I don't want to mess it up. I already should have fixed it, but I didn't.
So with this, for this year, people can expect to see yet a couple things.
Yeah,
At least where the prep is good.
So if everything goes good and the car, which I don't want to say stays together, but you know, new car blues things. If we don't have any problems off the gate, you know, you got to think like. I don't even want to wish it into existence, but say we crack a cylinder head. Look how long we've been held up over it already.
We'll go with a different brand.
There's not really a better cathedral head that I know of. I mean, all the other ones are like LS7 style with the cathedral roll, and I guess at that point I could change the heads, but like we already have a tall deck, long rod. We got a 6.62 inch rod, so the thing has, you know, really, I don't know how to word it, torqueless, poor rod stroke ratio, which in all intended purposes, it should rev to the moon and be awesome that way. And like we're drag racing, so this car, hypothetically, I'll tool with or tinker with the converter until this thing, when I let off the trans brake, it goes to about 7,500, 8,000, maybe 8,200, and we'll keep it between that 8 and 9 range. And so having that rod stroke ratio makes sense, but the thing is going to suffer down low. So I don't know, a lot of you guys know a lot about cylinder heads and how they work, but like an LS7 port is designed for much more cubic inch, much more torque. And the cathedral port, I mean, that's a 247cc intake port. The heads on that are like 282. So if we did, you know, and that's a lot of people do, if we switch to an LS7 head to be in the same boat, we'd have this huge intake port that we have to fill with not a lot of cubic inches, so the thing would be lazy as shit. And I'm afraid that if we change the combo too much, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
So I'm already upset a little bit about the half-inch longer rod because of the tall deck, but I think we can make do with it. I think for what we'll lose down low, we'll make up for like sustainability up in the higher RPMs. Probably be easier on rod bearings and stuff. Longer rod's always easier on parts, but it's still a crapshoot. You're still gambling. It changes piston dwell time. It's going to be more timing sensitive because the piston's going to sit at the top of the bore longer. You got to think like a rod's going like this, you know. It's going to be at the top longer, so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, maybe not. It's just the unknown. I don't know anybody that's done it. Everybody that I've asked is like, yeah, have you done it? They're like, no, that's dumb. Why would we do that? And I'm like, okay, never mind.
Didn't you find something where like NASCAR they were using a longer rod like that?
Everyone does because they sustain. But crotch rockets, F1 cars, you know, they use a long rod because they endure a lot of RPMs for a long time. So, like I said, it's worth a try.
And you are an RPM guy. Both your last 2 cars.
All of them.
$9,000.
So, anyways, if we do have a problem with the heads, I'd be in a pretty rough spot because we couldn't replace them. If I was richer, I would have just ordered 2 sets as a backup. But you know, there's plenty laying around. If $6,200, $6,500 set of cylinder heads just laying around, it's kind of rough to just be like, yeah, it's just in case. But I mean, I'm trying to build a car on that caliber that people do that, and I'm not on that caliber. So
yeah, they got spare blocks, spare heads, transes. So, I mean, you come out, you have a nice showing, you might be able to get the backing to do that. Further the Dangler Zone Racing program.
Yeah, Dangler Zone. I don't even care anymore. I don't want nobody's help. I just want people to say they're going to do something and stick to it.
Be like, damn, that's fast.
So, no, like I said, we're gonna hump on it here soon. I'm gonna get everything sorted out. Like I said, it's we'll keep you guys updated on that because a couple people said that the blue car wasn't ever gonna sell, and we'll show you.
It's
that
too
it will.
expensive. You want too much money for it.
I'll show you that it will. It's a lot of car for the money.
Yeah.
Anybody that's built a car in the last 3 years know that's a lot of car for the money.
A lot of nice parts. Essentially, you're getting a free chassis.
You're getting a free car and free assembly and free tuning.
Yeah.
And a free turbo and some free other parts and some free tires and anyway. So long story short, the that being gone really takes a lot of weight off my shoulder because that's my side money. So I'm gonna stuff that in the bank and I'm gonna slow down at the shop personally. We're gonna do some cam jobs and easier stuff, but I'm not gonna have to rush as much to get stuff done. So I'm gonna take I need some clearance time. I'm gonna take a month to myself on that. I'm gonna spend every single day on it.
Perfect.
So do some easy tunes, but like even a bunch of the race car guys, a few people already's like, hey, can you get me in next week? And I'm like, nope, sorry. I'm like, why?
My
I haven't done anything for myself for 2 years. So I'm gonna be greedy for a little bit, selfish. I feel like I deserve it.
I noticed, like, walking around out back of stuff, there's no more projects. There's no more
projects waiting.
LS swaps, nothing like that.
We got everything done this year that we needed to get done, except for my own stuff.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's, like I said, last year it was different because we were waiting on stuff. This year,
We're not waiting on
we're
anything.
not waiting on anything but time. And this year haven't had the time. So.
Are LS swaps something you're going to keep pursuing, or are you just going to
Absolutely. I mean,
be
it's
super
just-
choosy about it?
No, we will. It's just like I said, they're time consuming. They're a big job, so we're just gonna have to charge accordingly. I've never charged enough for them because, in my opinion, I'm like, not really an opinion. I grew up kind of poor, so I'm like, oh, 10 grand in labor for that. But then you're like, I mean, if you own a repair facility and you have a hoist, you're gonna have a target of this hoist needs to make 500 a day, or this hoist needs to make 1,000 a day, whatever it may be. So if you do an LS swap and you charge 10 grand in labor, hypothetically, I mean, you got 10 days to finish that car on paper if you want that hoist and your time and your guys to be profitable. And it's just, when you do anything remotely nice, that's impossible. Because then you're like, oh, well, this doesn't fit. We're going to order this or whatever it may be. So like that last white one we did it fairly quick. I think we had about 100 hours into it, but it was 8 weeks. And it's just because we didn't sit on it every day. We're waiting on a transfer case. We were waiting on the ECU to come in. We're, what shift linkage is going to work after, so it's just nature of the beast. So, I mean, we think in terms of that, and it's like 10 grand for 8 weeks, basically. It's not that great. So it's one of those things where LS swaps are glorified on the internet to be cheap, and they're not. Anybody that's done one, especially a nice one, they know it's not cheap. So this day and age, especially, everything is $500 or $200 or So a swap mall's $500. This header's $500. This $500. That's if you want cheap ones. So
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be, and it's not the backyard mechanic guys throwing a motor in and firing it up. It's you got to get fuel sending units working. You're wiring different things that the customer wants, and you're making it neat and tidy and different levels.
Yeah.
So no, absolutely, we'll do LS swaps. I don't mind them, but we got to get a little better about charging accordingly.
It's good to know because some of the phone calls I take when I'm not busy, I would bet at least 25% of them, like, how much does it cost to put an LS in a Jeep or this truck or this car? So with the folks watching, hey, I seen your video, so it's good to give them a little insight on what it is.
Yeah, and everyone has a different goal, but I mean, take some of the nicer ones, like that white truck that we just did. That guy supplied the engine and trans. The trans was bad, and we actually put it in for free for him because we felt bad. We had a Christmas deadline. We got it done like 4 or 5 days before. That truck ended up being, he supplied most of the stuff, and we put 25 grand into it. It's just what it takes. A Holley Terminator, a brand new fuel tank, fuel pump lines, radiator, hoses, water pump, alternator, bracket, power steering pump, power steering lines. It's the list was huge, and the guy was kind of like, damn, I didn't really expect that. And I was like, he wasn't upset. He was
That's
happy
what
to
it
get it
takes,
back.
so.
But he was like, wow, I just kind of surprised. Yeah, because I told him, I was like, you can't really, and I called him occasionally I'm like, do you want us to clean this old rusty tank out, or do you want to just get a new one? A new one's like $500. And he's like, just get a new one. So like I said, 500, 500, 500.
Yep.
Do that 10 times, you're $5,000. Then do that 10 more times, you're 10 grand. So it adds up quick. You know, it's just the drive shafts, U-joints.
Yeah,
Shift
it
like
just
it's
rolls.
shifter.
It rolls and rolls.
Yep. So yeah, it just, in this day and age, nothing is cheap. So we got to stick to our guns, charge a little more for the big jobs. You know, we do all right on the smaller jobs. We've gotten them. Andrew's been really good this year about like getting stuff done on a good time frame. So it's been better.
So one of the neatest setups you guys got for 23 was that mild mod list, 3 mods for them C7 Corvettes, and they've been a hit.
Yeah, everyone loves them. I mean, it's a good price.
Yeah.
You know, for parts, labor, and tuning, it's like less than 10 grand out the door on a $100,000 car, and you can make 700 of the tire.
Yeah,
So
that's
just
they're
super
monsters.
Cool, super hard to do. And Chelsea's here to take the Christmas tree down on New Year's Day.
Hi, Chelsea. She don't like our videos.
Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, we'll pick up when the blue car is going, and then we'll post. I don't know, maybe we'll lay in some money or something. I don't know.
Just sit in your chair and just throw it up above. We'll do a slow-mo.
Yeah. Something like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me see. 130? 136, so yeah, I'll get this going and
It'll be here in 45 minutes.
we'll do a follow-up in a few days.
Excellent.